What's up YouTube, I'm just another guy and welcome back to the F1 2013 series here on my channel. We are with Lotus, we are at the second race of the season in Malaysia and we find ourselves in Q2. Sadly my game crashed halfway through Q2 and then as a result my recording failed, which meant I have no Q1 footage available, but I was able to restart Q2. So you'll be seeing all the Q2 and all the flying laps of Q2 and Q3. So that was my setup there. Feel free to go back and have a look at that. Here we go, my first flying lap of Q2 on the option tyres, and we see Nico Hulkenberg. Now I don't believe Hulkenberg was on a flying lap. I'm pretty sure I saw him just come out the pit at the start of this lap. So why he hasn't got out of my way here, I have no idea, and as a result I try and just keep onto my racing line, end up nudging him onto the gravel, and as a result I get a 10 place grid penalty. I mean, like I said, I'm not even sure he was on a lap. He's just getting in my way, he's holding me up. I'm really frustrated. I was just get out of my way, and as a result that's why I nudged him in the back and I'm getting a 10 place grid penalty, which means the highest I can possibly start the race is in 11th place, and that's not good. that's not ideal in any situation. And as well, coming through for our first flying lap, it's not going to count, so we end up setting a 1:38. We end up being half a second off Hamilton, so I don't know where that would put us in relation to the rest of the field, but still, when you get a penalty in F1, I'm sure your time still counts even after the incident for that flying lap in qualifying. And yet again in the next flying lap we get held up again in that same position. I don't even know who that was. It may have even been our own teammate, I'm not too sure, but you held up yet again on our second flying lap on the same set of option tyres. We go through and set a 1:39.4, a lot slower than what we can do. As you saw in the first flying lap we set a 1:38 point something, so we're going to have to go through yet again on the same set of option tyres and try and do another flying lap. On the left we see we drop down to 10th, and the grip levels on our tyres are pretty much gone. I mean, we're not going to be getting any faster, but because I overfueled the car a little bit, and because we have enough fuel to do 3 flying laps, I thought why not, we're going to keep on going through. And since the fact we've had no traffic in this lap, I was expecting a faster time, and we did set one. We set 1:38.882, and it put us in 7th place, and it was enough to see us grow through to Q3, so just behind our teammate in 6th. So here we are in Q3. This is again our first flying lap. We're only going to use one set of option tyres in Q3 because it's a wet race for tomorrow, and I'm not sure, how it's going to be, whether the rain will last the majority of the race and we'll have to use a set of option tyres. So that's why I'm saving a pair for tomorrow. But on our first flying lap we set a 1:38.188, which is 3/10 off Lewis Hamilton. But we're going to continue going, we're going to continue pushing the car to its limits and see if we can set a faster time than that, see if we can qualify a little bit higher, so when the 10 place grid penalty is applied tomorrow it won't affect us as much as it could. So this is us finishing the end of sector 2, starting sector 3, and we see that we're currently setting the fastest lap of the qualifying session so far. 4 tenths quicker than Hamilton, and a 10th quicker than our previous one. So just have to now try and push the car as hard as we can until the end. I'm not too huge fan of this corner, and in the end I missed the apex by a little bit. Not a little bit, quite a bit actually, but coming through, going as fast as we can. Half of our curves has been used, all of our DRS is wide open as we approach the final corner of the lap, trying to hit the apex as well as we can. Could have done a little bit better, but not too bad. We lose the rear end coming out of the corner as well, apply the power a little bit too early. Is that going to cost us as much time? We end up going first in the end. The rear end kicking out didn't matter too much. We go top with a 1:37.746. We go pole, and that is where we finished the qualifying session. So in tomorrow's race we will be starting 11th, but we get our first ever pole in this career. Our teammates qualified in 7th, but as a result he'll be pushed up to 6th tomorrow. But making history today, we are officially the fastest car and the fastest driver on this track, so that's a massive boost going into tomorrow, which means as we try and build up our positions, regain our positions, we know we're faster than the cars in front of us. So as I said, it was going to be a wet race, I knew that, but I didn't know whether it was going to start wet or eventually become wetter as the race went on. But we're starting in the wet weather conditions, we've got our intermediate tyres on, it's expecting to improve as the racing goes along as well, so we're going to be going on dry tyres at some point in the race. The main decision in this race would be when. So here we go, 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and away we go. We have Massa right in front of us, we have Sutil directly behind us. We don't get the best of starts, and as a result the car in front of us and pushing away, we're being swarmed by Sutil on the left and Jean-Eric Verne on the right. We have Maldonado behind us as well. We're going to try and gain as many positions as we can in the first few corners. As you see, we're trying to weave through these big, massive crowd of cars. We've found ourselves currently up in 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th. We just overtake Webber to the right of us. We don't get the best traction out of the corner. As a result, Webber's going to be coming down the inside, but we're going to make our intentions set very early on. We're going to be diving down the inside for this next corner, see if we can regain any more positions as we go up to 4th. Can we squeeze Fernando Alonso? We're just about to make a little bit of contact, probably push him a little bit too much, but we've got currently up into P3, so in the space of a sector and a half pretty much, we've gone up to P3 from P11, which is a great start to the race. We have Lewis Hamilton ahead of us, who has missed out since starting the race on pole, to Sebastian Vettel ahead of us in first place and currently leading the race. So cutting on now to lap 4, our tyres are really losing out on grip as we smash a bollard out of this place, and we've been unable to gain on the likes of Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel ahead of us, and in fact we've probably built a little bit of a train behind us with Fernando Alonso right on our gearbox. But this is the lap we are meant to pit on. This is the lap we've been told to come in and put on a fresh set of intermediate tyres. But if you can look on the track in comparison to the start of the race, it's no longer raining, which means the track is just going to get drier and drier and drier the more cars drive on it. So I decide I'm going to wait and see if we can last until we have to put on dry tyres. So Vettel has gone in, Alonso has gone in ahead of us and behind us. Hamilton is staying out for another lap, which makes me think Rosberg is going to be pitting this lap. But we've been told to pit, but I do believe the track will be dry enough in about a lap or two. So I have to wait until then, but it's not going to be good. As you see, my tyres are pretty much, their grip levels are gone. They're off the cliff, which we just have to try and see if we can drag it out. So we are approaching the end of lap 5 now, which means the rest of the track should be coming into pit. I don't think there were many cars that didn't pit in the last lap. As you see now, I go completely wide in the corner just because we've got such little grip on the tyres, and I broke a little bit too late. And the remaining cars have gone into the track. Lewis Hamilton is currently in the Lewis Hamilton is currently in the pits. We are leading the race for the first time in this race. We are first in for the first time in this race. And as you look on the track, still there are a few dry patches. I mean, look at this sector; it's nearly dry enough for dry tyres, I'd say. So I don't know. Could the end of this lap be the time for us to come in and pit for our dry tyres? That is the big question. So we are at the end of Sector 2, approaching Sector 3, and we're waiting for an all-important message. That is the engineer telling us we need to come and pit in for the dry compound. So I think we've made the right strategy call here by waiting for the track to be dry enough to put on these dry tyres. So all the other cars will have pitted an extra time. They'll be all coming in at the end of this lap as well, along with me. But if you look at the map on the bottom left, there you can see the group of cars behind us. They're quite a way behind us. I don't know how far they go. 14 seconds between me and Lewis Hamilton in second place, with everyone coming into the pits as well. With 6 laps gone, I'm going to be going on to the prime tyres to see if they can last us for the rest of the race. But this decision call is very important, and we've made the right one, and that is a massive boost for us to try and win our first race of the season where the team expects us to finish. So we're coming in, pitting for dry tyres. We're going to hope for a good pit stop, no trouble. We get a 3.225 pit stop, which is pretty good. Other cars are just coming into the pits now. They're yet to even get to their actual pits, so we are definitely flying ahead. And based upon the pit stops and stuff, we should find ourselves, even after everyone comes out of the pits and finishes their first sector, we should be about 14, 15, 16 seconds ahead, because they're going to be holding each other up as well in the pits. So we're going to go on to rich fuel in a second. We're going to, with our additional fuel mixture, there you go, up into the rich fuel mixture, and we're going to see if we can push this car and set some flying laps and see if we can pull away from the cars behind us a little bit further. Hamilton's currently at the pits. If you look at the mini lap, he's going to be approaching the end of Sector 1 in a second. There we go, end of Sector 1, 13.155 separating me and Hamilton. So the gap is stayed pretty constant between us and him, but I doubt he's going to gain on us. And here we go on the last lap of the Grand Prix. We set a 1:39.731 as our fastest lap. We've been slowly dropping off into time in that aspect of the race. We've been unable to beat that time. I think we set that on lap 8 or 9. Hamilton is setting the fastest lap of the race, 2 tenths quicker than us, so it's point not to get the fastest lap of the race. But Hamilton has been unable to close the gap. In the past few laps, he's been gaining about a second or so per lap, but that's only dropped the gap down to about 10 seconds or so. So I doubt he's going to catch up there, as Fernando Alonso sets another fastest lap, a new fastest lap. But it's been a simple race. really not much has been going on. Since we left the pits, we've just been, like I said, setting fastest laps from the second we left the pits up to about lap 9. Then our lap time started to slowly fall off as the grip levels on these tyres started to fall off. So sorry about that. Sorry about the fact it's not the most interesting race. I will be doing longer races in the future, especially like the likes of Monaco. I'll maybe try and do a 100% race and things like that. But for now, 25% races, because I don't really enjoy these races too much, as we overtake our first ever car in the history of our F1 career. It's Max Chilton, 21st. Sadly, there's not 22 people left in the race, 22 drivers left in the race. But we overtake Max Chilton for the first ever time we've lapped someone, as we should be coming home for our first ever win in our F1 2013 career. Just one more corner left to go now. As long as we don't spin off here and lose our tyres, we should be fine. We should be alright. We are coming home now. We've got one more straight to do, applying the rest of our curves, weaving as we celebrate a ring-a-ding-ding-ding-ding. We win our first ever Grand Prix race, beating Lewis Hamilton. You know, we were given a penalty thanks to the likes of Nico Hülkenberg holding us up in our first flying lap of Q2, but that couldn't prevent us winning our race from grid P11 to P1. Gaining 10 positions in the race. 25 points is the most important thing though, as well as Kimi Raikkonen's 6 positions, sorry, with his 8 points. The points ended up being rounded up by Mark Webber as well. Hamilton second, Alonso was third, I previously saw. Paul di Resta sadly didn't finish the race, so yet to actually have a full 22 cars finishing the race this season. But currently we are top of the Drivers' Championship, 40 points, 3 points ahead of Nico Rosberg. So this is going to be it for now, guys. If you've enjoyed the episode, make sure you thumbs it up. Next time I'll meet you back will be the Chinese Grand Prix. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more interesting than this. I'm not exactly a huge fan of the Chinese Grand Prix to drive. But yeah, this will be it for now. And until then, peace out.